all of them, like there are no top 10 no-brainer picks, so they're all going to work out if they're healthy, and they all have a chance to rise up the draft board based on what they do here.
Why are you at this desk?
Nick told me to.
Oh, that's a good reason. Welcome into TexAgs Rewind. I'm David Nuño. He's Luke Evangelist. Luke, favorite part of the show today?
Gotta be Tom Hart, as always.
As always, is that your go-to? You don't remember what was on the show, and that's the one guy you're like, I remember.
Yeah, just a lot happened, and I wasn't sure what would be on the rewind, but I can always guarantee when Tom Hart is on, he's going to give his best, and y'all are going to talk about something that only
Random.
You two understand, like, what's his name, Robbins?
Tony Robbins?
Tony Robbins.
He didn't know who Tony Robbins was. How do you not know who certain people are? Do you know who Brad Pitt is?
Yes.
Okay. Do you know, I don't know, John Cougar Mellencamp?
I would have to see a face.
You know, I don't know, Neil Diamond.
Sounds more familiar.
Luke, get him back. Name a guy that he's not.
I'm blanking on like
who's
young
Neil
people.
Diamond?
Singer.
Okay, good job.
Yeah.
Good job.
Yeah.
Who's Jack Tripper?
Sounds like Jack the Ripper, just short.
No, Three's Company.
Okay.
I was thinking the same thing, Luke.
Who is Nicholas Bradford?
No idea.
8 is enough.
Okay.
Who's Kirk Cameron?
No idea. I couldn't even think of a show.
Growing Pains, and also he's a Christian actor now. Nick, did you know those folks?
I knew Neil Diamond.
Okay, what song does he sing?
Man, I don't know.
Never mind. On the show today, Olin Buchanan. Was he good?
Yeah, he was great.
All right. Charean Williams. Was she good?
She was great.
Aggies in the NFL, where we talked about free agency for them. Justin Lanham breaking down some hoops. Tom Hart, who was great, and we did talk about Tony Robbins, but there was some real insight beyond that. That and more here on the TexAgs Rewind. I do believe you become a football team does adopt the personality of the head coach.
Absolutely.
And then I've had people say, why? Why is that? Because they set a tone, they set a standard, and they also, like with your kids, everybody's kids, right? Like they learn from what they see. That is part of like, if you yell at your wife all the time, there's a good chance your kids at some point may adopt that. If you're a very caring person, hopefully they adopt that. If you go to work in your pickup truck and your blue jeans and you're ready to go every morning, 30 minutes before you're supposed to be there, people pick up on that. And I think that's part of the identity. So what does blue-collar mentality for A&M football mean to you?
It means more doing and less talking. It's that simple to me. You know, don't talk about what you're going to do. Just go out and do it. Take care of the little details. It's not I think for the last couple of years, A&M's been focused on, big splashes. And here's, it's all about, so much was put into that class and of getting the names.
You're right.
But there was more name than game, right? And I think the blue collar is getting back to tough, physical football, less emphasis on who's supposed to be good and more emphasis on what do you have to do to get good.
And by the way, this is not a new concept on this show. We have talked about it even during that recruiting run where they brought in the number 1 class of all time. You can bring in a lot of talent, right? But unfortunately, and you need to bring in a lot of talent, that there is a balance to it. You want to have those 3 stars that want to become 5 stars that become 5 stars. But when sometimes you have 5 stars that believe that they've done it. They've already reached the pinnacle, and nobody's going to tell them how they need to go about their business, right?
Yeah.
Charean, which Aggie you think can really help their stock this week? Are there those evaluations ongoing? Does somebody seem like they can be a riser this week?
I think they all can, but, you look, Olin and I think, discussed this last week or the week before about Cooper. I think he has a chance to propel himself into the first round. That's, you can go from a high second-round pick to a first-round pick by, if you put on a show here. He did really well at the Senior Bowl, and that helped him. And I think he can really help himself and maybe get into that first round if he can put on a good show here for the scouts this week. But all of them, like there are no top 10 no-brainer picks, so they're all going to work out if they're healthy, and they all have a chance to rise up the draft board based on what they do here.
It's my understanding that neither Jaden Daniels nor Caleb Williams are throwing or doing anything there. Drake May is.
Yeah.
To your knowledge, are all the other quarterbacks actually participating? And in your opinion, should the Dallas Cowboys use a early pick, like a top 3 pick on a quarterback?
Yes, they have all indicated that they are going to throw the other quarterback, so I think we'll see that. I do not think they should use an early pick on a quarterback. That's why they traded for Trey Lance, and they haven't seen enough of Trey Lance. We're going to see in the preseason what Trey Lance can do, how much of this offense he's learned. But that's why they traded the 4th-round pick for Trey Lance to possibly be their quarterback of the future. So they want another year with Trey Lance, see what he can do. Now, having said all that, you could draft a quarterback every single year, and I'd be fine with that. And there were teams that used to do that. The Packers were one of them. And then they would trade those quarterbacks. Those quarterbacks would become pretty good players and play well in the preseason, and they'd get trade value for them. So I'm never opposed to drafting a quarterback. I just don't know that they should draft one early in this draft. But if you get one in that 4, 5, 6 range as a prospect, I am not opposed to that at all.
Who do you think needs to step up to be able to get this team back on track?
Yeah, I mean, I would like to see, and this is not a knock on them to say that they haven't been, but I would just like to see them maybe get to the next level and continue to elevate. And that's just Solomon and Anderson, just kind of be the Bash brothers that we need them to be, just kind of that energy. And, that's the thing about this team. Sometimes you look out there and you just are like, hey, like, where's somebody that's going to, light a fire under our guys, and I think that can be Solomon and Anderson, but I would say if there's 2 people or that I would like to see kind of elevate their game over the next four games is Solomon and Anderson, and I think that they're capable of that. They've shown it at spurts, and so I definitely think they're capable of that.
So I'm looking at Anderson, and especially in the Tennessee game. Usually, I think he did so well during a big stretch of the year that it's set like an unfair expectation for what Sure. Most college athletes are not going to give you, college basketball players are not going to give you 14 to 16 rebounds in a game. Anderson was doing it routinely outside of the Arkansas game, and he did okay against Bama with his 12 boards, but he had 8 against Tennessee, but wasn't providing any offense. There was a stretch where he was providing double-doubles, and it just shows that if Wade is off, if Boots is off, and Andy ain't carrying some kind of offensive load, which we didn't even think was possible before the season started, then where are they going to get points?
Yeah. I feel like I don't know what the deal is with Henry. I feel like, and I'm kind of going off on a side note here, but I do feel like we need to see what we saw from Henry at the beginning of the year. And, there was a stretch in time where it felt like he was a little injured. He's coming off the bench and stuff like that. And so I just don't know how much of that is still, weighing on him or, what that looks like. But he's definitely a guy that I feel like too, we got to get a little bit more out of him. I mean, you think about it, some of our best games are, obviously when Wade and Boots are playing well, but when Solomon's chipping in 8 points and Anderson's chipping in 6 points and Henry has 12 points. I mean, I feel like we're really hard to beat when and that's tough to say too, because that's saying, hey, 5 guys have really got to be on their game. But unfortunately, with the way that we play offense, that's just what it's got to be. And
like, for example, and I don't want to turn it into a huge thing here, but you can court storm, but you're not supposed to touch the other players.
Yeah.
Stay away from the other player. Go with your people. Do your thing. Don't touch that guy. Don't get in the way. Don't cut off Caitlin Clark. Be mindful enough. Stay in your lane. Get out of the way.
So Obi and I kind of argued a little bit yesterday about that. I'm not saying what Flipowski, did was right, but if you're coming at me 50 miles an hour, you're probably going to get an elbow to the throat too. I'm just if I feel like I'm at an opposing arena and I don't know if these people are going to trample me, I'm not saying it's right, but I understand.
I'm with you 100%. I look at that. I hadn't seen a court storming quite like that before. In that Filipowski was stuck on the sideline and the flood came right at him. Usually they do a better job of getting themselves to the sideline that's protected and then easing out the door. Usually, and they're all different. And I've had them flown around me. I had one earlier this year when South Carolina beat Kentucky. But if you and 200 of your friends are running at me My best protection is a forearm shiver, probably to your jaw, right in your throat, and I'm getting out of the way. It's not like there are a bunch of defensive linemen rushing Filipowski. I mean, these were just Wake Forest nerds who had to get up the next morning and go to theology class. Like they were no threat, except it's that old thing, like pick the animal, right? Would you rather fight 100 ducks or 100-foot duck or 10, whatever the 10-foot duck is? Like 100 ducks can do a little damage. You got to kick them out of the way. Kick them out of the way and get off the court.
All right, that's going to do it for TexAgs Rewind. Cooper's here trying to learn a little bit about the business. Cooper, tell the people what to do.
I don't remember.
What do you mean you don't remember? Tell the people what to do. Think about what do you think they should do after they watch a YouTube video?
Go to the bathroom.
No, I mean, if I make you want to go to the bathroom, that's not good. Have you ever watched a YouTube video?
I have watched YouTube videos.
What is every YouTube video?
Like and subscribe. There we go.
Like, comment, subscribe.
Comment
what else?
too.
Turn on the notification bell.
Anything else?
Follow TexAgs on all social medias.
See? Did you learn anything about the business today?
I did learn just that right
all
there.
right. Say hello to your dad for me, all right?
Hey, Dad.
No, I was saying it to you to tell him. But you know what? All right. We'll see you guys next time on The Rewind.